Alright guys, welcome back to another video, and today we're having a bit more of a sit down chat and we're going to be answering a few questions that you guys asked me on Instagram. So I sent out a questionnaire asking you guys to ask me questions to make a video, and you guys came through with a lot of good questions. Some of these I'm going to go a little bit more in depth with, and then some I'll just brushly go over, and then the ones I want to get more in depth to, I'll do that with those. So I've got them all here sitting on my iPad since I'm recording on my phone in case you guys wanted to know what I was recording with. I just use my phone, nice and easy, nice and simple. If you have a phone, you can make a video. So I've got all the questions screenshotted here on my iPad. I'll make sure to put them up on the screen as well, somewhere on the screen for you guys to see the questions as well. I think we should just get straight into the video. First question I got was from a lady that commented on my 10,000 calorie challenge video. If you guys want to see that, just check out the link in the description to go see my 10,000 calorie video. It's been going really good so far. Definitely my most popular video on my channel, which I expected it would be. You guys have been giving me heaps of support on that and absolutely loving that video. So make sure you go and check that out, give it a like, drop a few comments on it, and share it around with your friends. So first off, this lady asked me a fair few questions actually. First off, she wanted to know if my fitness routine would be any more intense trying to return back to my physique and weight. So I might as well quickly touch on that. I did say to her, I did reply to her comment on the YouTube video, and I did say that I wouldn't be making my training any more intense, because really it doesn't need to be. If you guys go off track, or if you diet or whatever, get straight back on track and the progress is still going to come. It may take a tiny bit longer, but there's no point in killing yourself because you're always going to get back to that same state that you're at. With me, I was really lucky because I did those 2 depletion days. If you guys also watch my other video, which I'll link in the description, about preparing for the 10K challenge. So when I did that, I depleted all my muscles. I probably ate about 1,000 calories on the day before and about 1,500 on the day before that, which absolutely killed me. I was super weak after that, and I was lucky enough to not gain too much weight. It's a lot less than I thought. On the night, I was 3 kilos, close to 3 kilos up, I think. And then the next day, I was 76 point something. I'll put a video up on the screen now. There's a video of me jumping on the scales and a little bit of a physique update to show you guys what I look like the very next day, which I was really lucky. I did do a bit of research, so I didn't drink heaps of water on the day because that is a big part of what bloats you. And then the very next day I went to the sauna and I was in there for ages, just sculling water. I was downing litre after litre and just sweating it all out in the sauna. And then the very next day, somehow, I was 74.8, which is like 200 grams underneath of what weight I was before I started. So that was pretty amazing, and then it stayed on track from there, and I've slowly started to increase my calories, so I didn't have to worry too much, which is very lucky because usually it doesn't go like that. My physique didn't take long to return back to normal, but there was no thought of me intensing my training. Just a bit of cardio the next day, just a little bit more. She also wanted to know if I found myself forcing down food, which I definitely did, especially when you see me walking on the treadmill. I had to absolutely down those lollies. I didn't want to. I was feeling so sick walking on that treadmill, but I just grabbed that handful of Sour Patch Kids and had to just chuck them down because they were absolutely killing me. Also with the ice cream, I had to force that down. In the last clip, I was so close to like chucking it away for a second and trying to eat something else, but I just had to down it. There was cookie dough bites in there that were just absolutely making me feel like I was going to throw my guts up. But yeah, I definitely found myself forcing down food. My overall thoughts on the 10K calorie challenge is I would do it again, but that's only because I've got the biggest sweet tooth on anyone that you'd ever know, and looking at the time, I would say, nah, never doing it again, but it's always the next day. You can't really remember what the feeling was like, and yeah, I'd definitely do it again. I wouldn't recommend it to anybody at all. I don't recommend you eating that amount of calories. That's 5 days worth of food for the average person, so don't do that at all. It'll make you feel like shit, but for YouTube purposes and entertainment purposes, I reckon it's great, especially to get your channel out there. And yeah, so I reckon there'll be a few more challenges coming eventually. Alright, so getting into my Instagram questions now that you guys have asked me. Very first question that I got asked on Instagram was, if you could have a meal with anyone in the world, who would it be? If I could have one meal with any person in the entire world, it'd probably be someone like Brandon Shaw, who's one of the strongest men in the world. He eats 10,000 calories daily because that's his diet. Or somebody like The Rock on his cheat day, because he has an insane cheat day, and it'd be great to talk to The Rock about some things. in a challenge circumstance, either of those two is the person I would have a meal with, because I reckon that would be a challenge and an amazing experience also. If I was able to meet anybody, dead or alive, who would it be and why? It's gonna sound probably really cliche, but if I could meet anybody, it would be Muhammad Ali, in his prime most likely. I feel like he'd be a massive inspiration to talk to. I feel like he'd give you so much knowledge as well, and he's someone I've always wanted to meet. Like really ever since I started boxing, everyone looks up to Muhammad Ali. But that's just because he's such an amazing role model, and his confidence that oozes off him, everyone is just attracted to that. And if I could get some knowledge out of him and meet him in his prime, really, that would be absolutely amazing. Even not in his prime, that would be absolutely a memorable moment for sure. So I'd have to say Muhammad Ali. What has been the biggest achievement in my life? I would say the biggest achievement in my life would be traveling overseas for boxing. That's an achievement in itself that I always wanted to complete. It's nothing huge, nothing major. But yeah, for myself, that was something I really wanted to do. And winning the Golden Gloves overseas in New Zealand was absolutely an amazing experience, and a great achievement in myself. Obviously there's a lot more to come, but honestly, any title that I win, any fight that I win, to me is my biggest achievement at the time. But yeah, if I could put it down to a certain one, probably the Golden Gloves in New Zealand or the Golden Gloves in Queensland. Them two titles are probably my most favourite titles. Last year in general was my biggest achievement altogether. Obviously this year has been a little bit different to do with all my injuries, so this year definitely hasn't been my year. But last year, that whole year in general was definitely a massive achievement for myself. Right, so I just recorded this whole video and it didn't even decide to record. So we're going all the way back. I've already answered all these questions, but we're gonna do it again because we need that content. So, the next question that was on the list, what keeps you going and motivated? So, I've been asked this question a lot. This is probably the question I get asked the most. And to be honest, I have an end goal in my life that I want to achieve. I can never see myself working a 9-to-5 job every single day for the rest of my life, or going to the mines and doing that full time. I could never ever ever see myself doing that. Not saying it's a bad thing, because people can make a successful life out of doing that, but I could never see myself doing that. I feel like I've been put on this earth to have a different journey and a different path and step outside of the box of your everyday life on what you're meant to be doing. I want to experience the world, I want to travel, I want to make videos, I want to succeed in my sport, and I want to get to the top of the top in anything that I do. And I want to succeed in life and make a living out of what I love doing, which is obviously boxing, being an athlete, doing anything to do with fitness is what keeps me motivated and what keeps me getting up in the morning. I see it as like, my life is like a bank. Every single morning I get up and run, that's like me depositing money into a bank. And financially, I'm gonna get there one day. As long as I keep getting up every morning and training super hard every single day, all day, then I'm putting money into that bank, which is my life. And every single time I invest, I'm investing into my future. And that's what really keeps me motivated. Also, all the support I get from everybody keeps me motivated. People that have got me to where I am today, people that have been there from the start, people that have jumped along, following my fitness journey and my boxing journey keeps me motivated also, is just knowing that there's people out there supporting me and following along every single step of the way. Just showing people that you can do anything really motivates me also and keeps me going every single day. What fight were you most nervous for? Now this is a great question and I can actually give you an answer to this. Obviously when stepping into a boxing ring, it's a whole new experience and it's completely different to anything I'm sure that you've ever experienced in your life. That is the most fearful thing, is jumping into a boxing ring, but once you do it, you're fine, you're in there and you're ready to go. But there's been heaps of fights where I've been nervous for, like everybody else. Every single fighter you can have, fighters that have had over 200 fights in the amateurs still get nervous. World champions, Mike Tyson, he still got nervous all the time. Muhammad Ali, I'm sure he had nerves as well, even though he didn't really show it. I've had fights as well where I've been confident and I've danced myself all the way into that ring and I've been dancing, warming up backstage, and they've been great. But there has been fights where I've been completely nervous. Probably the most nervous I've been for a fight was against a local boy that had been absolutely killing it. We'd fought each other twice before. I'd won the 2 times previous before that, but we hadn't fought for about a year to 2 years, I'd say it was actually. and he'd just been skyrocketing. Every single time I jumped on Facebook, he'd done something new. He's won another fight, winning. He was just winning, and he was succeeding, and he was going rapid. And for some reason, all my confidence was just chucked out the window. Like, that confidence that I'd always had just been gone, and I was worried because I'd never felt like that in my life before. And yeah, it was scary for me. Just not having that confidence there, and a little bit of belief in myself had been gone. I remember I was in my darkest place probably before going to that fight. Just no self-belief, no confidence, like nothing. I couldn't picture myself winning the fight, which is absolutely horrible, but I felt like it was something that I had to do, and I wasn't gonna pull out. The day of that fight, I was super nervous. The night of that fight, I was super nervous. We were the very last fight of the night, we were the main event of the show, and I remember it was like 10 minutes before we were about to walk out, all my nerves were just gone. Everything really switched on, and I knew I was in here. I knew I had to get this job done. I had to get into that ring, and there was no turning back really. All my fears had just disappeared. I knew I was in it, so I had to go for it and just see what happened. I got into that ring. We had an absolute war of a fight, probably my most favorite fight to date. Ended up being super close, which I was really happy with. He did end up taking the win, which was great on him. He did deserve it. It was a mental challenge for me really. And I'm so grateful that I jumped in that ring, because even though I lost, it was the biggest learning experience of my life. I got into that ring and I jumped over this hurdle that had been on my way for so long, leading up to the fight. And I remember walking out to the car with my coach, and then I ended up just bursting into tears afterwards, because the moment had been over. Like, it never seemed like it was going to end leading into that fight. And then now that it was over and I'd actually gone in there and I'd done myself proud, I just ended up bursting into tears and couldn't really explain the feeling I was feeling. It was just, I was so happy that I got over that hurdle, and it just felt like I grew as a person right then and there. Where do you see yourself in 10 years? Now, this is a great question. To be honest, I see myself in 10 years doing whatever I want to do. In 10 years, I want to be growing my own business, hopefully. Something to do with a gym. I want to be opening up a whole fitness industry. I feel like that would be something I'd look forward to doing every single day. Having a commercial style gym, as well as boxing, a CrossFit styled, strength and conditioning gym. Something along the lines of just pure out fitness, grow an all out community. I feel like that would be something absolutely amazing. Obviously, I see myself succeeding in whatever I'm doing. If that's boxing, I see myself as a professional boxer by then, winning world titles. That is my biggest goal. I see myself training for things like triathlons, Ironmans, all that style sort of stuff, and I see myself trying to succeed in that thing, even CrossFit. I just want to be an all-round athlete, and if I could document all that on this channel and share my experience around the world with people and be able to make a living from sharing my experiences and my journey, that would be also a place I'd like to see myself in 10 years. I also do hopefully see myself with a family. I see myself being super happy, financially going well, and living my life to the fullest. What made you stop dancing and start boxing? Your mum was my dance teacher. So probably a few of you that are watching right now do know that I was a dancer. My mum was a dance teacher, and she ran a dance studio, and she's been doing it for like 20 years or so now. Ever since I was 3, she'd chuck me onto that stage, and I'd bust my moves because I was an absolute gangster. But not really. I absolutely hated dance. Leading from 3 all the way up to 11, I'm pretty sure I was, when I stopped dancing and told my mum that was it, not doing it anymore. Sorry, mum. This isn't what I like doing at all. And she knew I didn't really like doing it. She'd somehow convince me every single year to get back on the stage, but that's probably because I love the concerts and showing off at the very end of the year. But every single dance rehearsal or dance lesson I absolutely hated. I was probably the worst student that my mum even had. I was the biggest pest. I would go around and just muck around the whole time and distract everybody and just be my little young self and try to show off really. And it finally got to the age of about 11 where I was like, Mum, sorry, I don't want to do this anymore. And then it was about a year later when I found myself walking into a boxing gym, and I have to give my mum credit. The dance moves that she taught me definitely helped with my footwork once I started boxing, because everything started to flow real nicely. The rhythm of it all I just loved, and I was just in the wrong sport. And as soon as I found boxing, I was never going back to dance ever again. So this is another really good question that could help a lot of people, and it's best advice for someone who wants to improve their fitness. My advice personally is set goals. Set small goals though. You can have your big end goal, which is great, but I want you along the way to set small goals. So even if that's to lose weight, you set a small goal of the amount of weight you want to lose. You reach that goal, then you set another goal from that point, and then you keep going until you get to your very end goal. It's probably the way to stay motivated and in what you're doing. Say you're going to the gym as well and you're trying to get stronger. I recommend taking in a book, writing down the weights that you start at, doing that, and then slowly increasing the weight over time, and then just seeing the improvements on paper is so satisfying as well. If you're trying to go to the gym, bring along a gym buddy, because having someone there helps you so much more. Having someone coming along with you motivates you so much more to keep going to the gym, because it's so hard to do it by yourself to start off with. Some people do it better by themselves, but most people need someone next to them, and it just helps them and pushes them a little bit more, and it makes it a lot more fun. What got you into boxing, and how long have you been boxing for? So honestly, my boxing story isn't super anything amazing. To be honest, my whole life I've never been great at sports. Like in Australia, you grow up with football and cricket and basketball and whatnot, and I was never good at any of those things. I did most of them, and just nothing clicked with me, and I was never really good at any sort of sports. One day, my friend that I went to school with, and we were in year 7, she asked me to come out to a kickboxing session, because that's what they were doing. She'd been doing it for a while, and a few of my mates had got into it, and they were like, why don't you just come along? So I thought, why not? Might as well give it a try. I remember going down to the gym. I seen them all there. They were in a more advanced class. I had to start in the beginner class, and I remember as soon as I kicked those pads, I knew that's what I wanted to do. I called my friend up later that night that told me to go out there, and I said, this is what I want to do for the rest of my life. This is what I want to focus on. And she obviously laughed at me, and obviously didn't think I was gonna continue with it. And I'd never seen those guys go back to the gym again. They all lost interest. I just stuck to it and just loved it straight away. And I was there every single training, and it just took off from there really. And I've been boxing for 5 years now. I'm pretty sure it's 5 years. It's 5, more close to 6 I'd say. But I started off with kickboxing. I was doing that for about a year solidly, and then got into boxing. Nothing was too hectic. It took me 2 years before I had my first fight. So I've only been fighting for 3 odd years now. And yeah, that's how I got into boxing. What time do you usually get to bed, and how many hours of sleep do you aim to get? So sleep, as an athlete, any kind of athlete, is so important for recovery and just your mental well-being also. So I try to get at least 7 hours of sleep every single night. I'm in bed by 9 o'clock, asleep by 9:30 usually. And sleep, it's the most important thing. I prioritize that so much. So yeah, at least 7 hours of sleep. If you can get more than that, that's absolutely amazing. But yeah, usually I'm up at 5 o'clock in the morning, so I got to be in bed by 9 if I want to be able to train the next day and not feel sluggish. So at least 7 to 8 hours of sleep. I reckon the recommended thing is like 6 or 7 for adults. What are the supplements that you use pre, during, and post-workout? So in the morning after my first training session, I have a protein, which is a vegan protein, banana flavor from My Protein. So yeah, this is a vegan blend. I like to have this in the mornings because I like to start off with something nice and fairly natural. I put a few vanilla sweetener drops in there to make it taste less like a plant, because it does have that bit of a plant taste, but it's definitely one of the better vegan proteins that I've had. So I like to always start off that one. I obviously train fasted, don't have any pre-workouts. As soon as I get home from my run or cardio, whatever I'm doing in the morning, I'll chug down that shake. Before training sessions, I like to have just a plain black coffee with some stevia in it and some vanilla flavored drops. That's basically my pre-workout. After a weight training session, I just have the 100% Standard Whey by Optimum Nutrition, which is double rich chocolate flavor. I like to chug that down straight away. Post-session, all I really have is pea protein, Standard Whey, and black coffee as my pre-workout. I've decided to stop taking the other pre-workouts. I was taking a Burn product from Optimum Nutrition, which was a pre-workout, but pre-workouts aren't that good for you. So I'd rather stay away from them, and that's what I'm gonna do from now on. Do you ever see unfit / nutritionally unhealthy people and wonder why/how or not care? And my biggest thought is that I have no care in the world. This may sound a little bit selfish, but if I see someone else that's overweight or unhealthy, not living a healthy lifestyle, that's their choice, and I really couldn't think twice about it. All I care about is myself, really, when it comes to nutrition and being healthy, because that's what I love doing. Like, me and my girlfriend, we can go out and she can have a really unhealthy meal and I can have something really healthy and we can eat it together. And I won't think twice about what she's eating. Usually half the time I'm getting jealous about what she's eating. And she knows that as well, so she doesn't get self-conscious about that or anything like that. Because that's what she's enjoys. She's not training to be an elite athlete or anything like that, so she doesn't have to worry about that. She's just living her life like everyone else would. Me, on the other hand, I'm trying to achieve something in an athletic standpoint, so I focus on myself and my body. Couldn't care less about anything or anyone's doing. What is your ultimate goal? Like, what is your dream outcome for your life? I've had to have a little bit of a think about this one. My dream outcome is to be known as someone who achieved many things that people didn't think were possible. I want to be that small town boy that got out into the big world and achieved something in life. It's just to have people talk about me once I'm gone and be a role model to others. So that is my dream outcome. Hopefully I'm chilling in a mansion with lots of fancy cars and having a great family and being financially well. That would be pretty sick, but as long as I'm happy in life and succeeding at what I want to do, that is the ultimate goal for my life. All right, and that is the end of the questions. So got through a few of those. I hope you guys understood some of my answers. I know I rambled on a little bit of some of those, but I hope you guys got the understanding of what I was trying to say. I want to say a massive thank you guys for all the support on my last video and also for all the questions that you guys came through and asked on my Instagram. They were great questions, and I thank you guys for interacting with me and being able to help this channel grow. I hope you guys did enjoy this little sit down video of me answering a few of you guys' questions. Hopefully you got to know me a little bit better and understand what I'm trying to achieve in life. Thank you guys so much for watching. Make sure you go down and check out the 10,000 calorie video that we just posted and go spread some love on that one. Make sure you leave a like on this video, drop a few comments. Let me know if you want to see more sit down Q&As or anything like that. Let me know your ideas in the comments and I'll make sure to get some of those done. So thank you guys again so much for watching. Make sure you subscribe and support the channel, because if you guys are supporting the channel, this means it's getting me closer to being able to do one of my goals in life, which is being able to spread my journey of life on social media, and having you guys following along is going to make that process so much more easier to do, and we'll be able to get some even more amazing content out there and achieve more and experience more in life. I'll see you guys in the next one. Adios.